Hey, what's up, everybody? Cartes Ross here with MoveAbroadAndThrive.com, and today I have David. We're riding down the street, and we're gonna go get some lunch. And as we ride down the road, we're gonna kind of talk to you about some different things. And for those of you all who don't know David, this is the guy that helped us find our home that we're now currently living in Merida. Become good friends. We hang out, we go out to lunch. This guy is excellent for picking out places to go eat. And so right now we're about to go eat at some special place. I think you're going to be amazed at some of the options that you have by being so close to Merida. And so David, go ahead and just briefly tell folks who you are and where you've been and why you came back to Merida. Just casual conversation.
Casual conversation, yeah. Well, just so you know, today's a beautiful day, and we were feeling like having something fresh, something nice. So we're having fish tacos.
Woohoo!
Oceanfront.
Oh.
So this is going to be a little road trip. We'll have time to talk a little bit about Merida and the story, right?
Yes.
How I became a realtor and who am I and all this not so interesting things in a interesting and beautiful place that's Merida. So before doing this, I was actually involved in the oil industry as a marine scheduler. I was coordinating fuel shipments from the Texas Gulf Coast into Mexico. So that was me. And my dad is not getting any younger. He was having some health complications. He is retired and he's living here in Merida. So I wanted to spend more time with him, with my family, and so that's why I chose to came back to Mexico and joined them in their recovery. Now my dad is doing much better after a couple of surgeries. He's doing great. He's getting his strength back, and I found a new dream job. So it's a win-win for all of us.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you guys, when David was taking us around to look at different houses, I had no idea that his dad was sick, and and that just lets you know how much time and attention he spends with you, helping you to find the place that you're wanting. So if you're looking at moving down to Merida or just coming here for a long extended vacation and just need a short-term, or a rental, not necessarily short-term, but if you're looking for a place to live, or if you're looking for a place to buy, this is the guy that can help you find that place. And like you said, his dad is doing so much better, and we're grateful. We've been grateful. We love the house. The kids love the house, and it's just an awesome neighborhood. So definitely reach out to David. I mean, this guy has a wealth of knowledge about this area, and he's just been a blessing to us.
It's been a joyful experience.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all those nice words, and if you're glad, then I'm super glad.
Awesome. We're definitely glad. Definitely. I know you mentioned that we're gonna go down to a beachfront. I see the sign up here that says Progreso. Are we going there or some other?
We're going to Progreso.
Awesome. What is Progreso for those who are not familiar with the area or in relation to the Merida?
Okay, so Progreso Beach is it's really a small town. If you're driving, it'll take you about 25 to 30 minutes to get there, and it's the closest beach to Merida. White sand, calm seas, good food.
Yes.
So it's and there are a lot of like little resorts, hotels, Airbnbs that you can rent to spend the weekend at the beach. So Merida itself is very nice and quiet, but being at the beach just adds up to the experience. So you have that 20 minutes away from your own house. So how cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome, because it gets hot. It gets very, very hot, and the fact that you can just hop in the car, take a quick Uber ride or a taxi ride or even a bus ride down to the beach is awesome. I mean, it's just one of the many perks of just being here in this particular area. And so we're about to hop on the road to head there. And like you said, it's only about 25-minute drive from, I guess, the north side of town?
Yes.
What about from Centro?
Well, we can add 15 to 20 more minutes depending on the traffic, but still that's a short trip, I think.
Yeah, very short trip. And like you say, and we live in the north side. Is that accurate? We are north of
Yes.
Centro, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're living here to our left in Montevelo area, inside the Periférico, and I live right here on the outer side of the Periférico in Temozon. So we're pretty close, and the road to Progreso, as you can see, is very close.
Okay. Yep.
So this is going to be a short trip.
Awesome. So the how do you say that?
Periférico, the peripheral highway.
And so what is that exact? What is that? Like a circle, like a beltway?
Like a beltway, yes.
Okay, okay. And that goes around?
Surrounds the city.
Okay.
Entirely. So here we can get to the airport in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that's a very quick drive.
Now, is the airport closer to Progreso or closer to?
No, it's closer to Centro.
Okay.
So the airport is to the south. We're heading towards the north.
The north. Okay. So inside the I gotta read it. I gotta see it.
Petty. Let's call it petty.
Petty.
Like, that's what we do in Mexico. El petty.
Petty. Okay. So inside the petty, what is it? Is it more costly to live inside the petty, or the cost of living outside the petty where you live, is things a little cheaper there, or what's the difference between the inside and the outside, if any?
That's a good question, but it depends. It's definitely more convenient to stay inside Periférico.
Okay.
Right? Right now we are having a curfew. We have an active curfew, so no one is supposed to be driving by 11:30. So say you're enjoying drinks in Centro, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's already 9 o'clock in the evening, and you have to go back home soon.
Mm-hmm.
So getting an Uber can be challenging because they have to drop you off. That's like a 30-40 minute drive, and then they have to go back home. So that's the only challenging part about living outside the Periférico. Apart from that, is great. Properties tend to be a little bit larger.
Okay.
There's more room.
Mm-hmm.
And prices are about the same, I would say. Northern Merida outside or inside the Periférico,
Mm-hmm.
they are about the same, but there's definitely more room outside.
Okay.
That would be the difference.
That would be the main difference. Okay. Yeah. So I guess we live on the inside, right on the edge. I guess on the inside,
Yeah.
right on the inner, right at the edge of it on the outside as well. Because I actually walked to La Isla Mall from City Center.
Okay.
And it wasn't a bad walk, so I'm assuming that's outside the petty. I did cross around that little circle. I think I did, if I recall. So that's outside the petty, La Isla Mall, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice area. And I went to your place, and you said that was Temozon?
Yeah.
Okay. That must be pretty big, because I just saw another sign that pointed to Temozon.
Temozon goes all the way through here, almost to the point where you're reaching La Ceiba golf course. So this is Temozon still.
Really? Okay.
It's a large area.
That is large.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah.
And so help me break this down. So we got so Temazon, then there's Montebello, there's San Ramon. So there's Las Americas, and I'm assuming all of this stuff is in Merida.
Yes.
And so, what are those neighborhoods, zonas, barrios? What's the deal with all the names? Because I'm assuming Progreso is not part of Merida.
No, Progreso is it's different. It's a different city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all those names I just mentioned, so those are not necessarily cities. They're just.
Well, it's funny because they used to be like smaller towns, and the city just grew to a point that it reached them, and they became neighborhoods. Say Temozon has its own how you call it sheriff department.
Oh, really?
The equivalent of a sheriff department. Yeah.
Okay.
So it used to be a small town apart from Merida, but the city grew so fast that it's now one of the neighborhoods, and that happens a lot in Mexico.
Wow.
Right here in Merida, that's the case for many of those neighborhoods. Say Citia, which is a little bit more to the east, also north of Merida. If you go across the Peri, you will hit the Harbor Mall, right?
Correct.
So that area used to be like a little town, and now it's just another neighborhood. So the city is transforming that way.
Okay.
There's only two exceptions. One is Cholul and Concal. So if you're in Altabrisa and you go across the Peri and you start going north, you'll hit Cholul and Concal, and these are like little towns apart from Merida. They have their own infrastructure, their own government, their own offices. They're completely independent, but they're 50 minutes away. So
wow. Okay. And
so
Cholul,
the city is also catching up.
Okay. So Cholul is about 50 minutes away as well. Somehow I thought I was in Cholul at some point. Don't know how I got there, but
yeah.
So that's a pretty good.
I would say less. I would say like 10 minutes. It's a 10 minutes drive from Altabrisa Mall.
Okay. So and that's not part. And that's not considered necessarily Merida.
That's
Cholul.
true. Yes.
Okay. All right. But all the other little spots are called neighborhoods. So
yes.
Is Centro a neighborhood or Centro just downtown? How is that different from, say, a Centro versus Montebello or Temazon? Is that any difference there?
Well, there's a common characteristic for Centro area, because every major city in Mexico has a Centro, right? Which is dominated by a religious building like the Cathedral in Merida, a square for commercial and cultural purposes, and the local government will also be there, and that's the heart of the Centro area. And you'll have your restaurants, your hotels, your government buildings, and all that. But it's also a neighborhood, so it's comprised out of a larger area that comprehends like housing and parks, and it's much more than the tourist central area that everybody knows.
Okay. Wow. So in Centro, there's a lot more older buildings, colonial style.
Oh yes.
Homes. I've read people make comments about Centro. It's one of them things where you either like it, love it, or you don't like it. So people that come here to the city are not necessarily familiar with these colonial style homes and don't really know what they're getting into. So I've read comments where people are like, why do y'all like this place? It's old, it's dirty, it's prehistoric, and but then you have other folks who absolutely love it. It took me about a week before I started to really appreciate it, because I'm one of those folks who came down here, didn't know what I was getting into with these 200, 300-year-old colonial style homes. What is your point of view on those trying to decide whether they want to live in the Centro downtown area with the old colonial style homes or businesses versus say the north side where things are a little bit more modern, but also still have that same lots of colonial style buildings as well.
Well, what Centro does, it delivers a sense of place. You know, like you feel like you're really living in Mexico. So it's much more busy. It's alive. There are many places that you can go visit. You're surrounded by history and by culture, and by renovating a property, you're basically buying a piece of history, and that just adds up to the experience. And for some, it's the whole point of coming to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
In northern Merida, it's super convenient. It's super modern. You just hump into the periférico and you'll get anywhere. I would say that there's less traffic. Life is more comfortable there, and it's just as nice. And you'll have all this green.
Yes.
Like Centro, it's beautiful, but it doesn't have the properties. Don't have as much green as in the north.
I agree. I could agree with that because it was like in Centro, everywhere you go, it's just buildings, concrete everywhere.
Buses, people coming, going. It's alive. It's definitely more busy than in northern Merida.
It is.
In northern Merida, people that just want to take it easy, that want to enjoy life, get a modern property with modern amenities, with enjoy, peace and quiet. That's more suitable for them. Exactly. So you're talking about two different customers with two different wants and needs.
Absolutely.
Right? So that would be that's the difference between North and Central, right?
Yeah.
If you wanna experience true Mexico, having the cathedral next to you, having coffee near historic places like Paseo Montejo and all the beautiful colonial, not houses, mansions that are over there. Like it's quite a sight, and it's as beautiful and as nice as it's gonna get. It's an iconic avenue, and the architecture of the area it's unique. You won't find this anywhere else.
You won't. I mean, it really is unique. And, as David mentioned, the Centro versus, say, living in the north side, two different customers. And I struggled between which side of town I wanted to live in. And I eventually decided to go on the north side just I still kind of like the modern conveniences. And at the same time, still very close enough to get to Centro whenever I want to go. Lots of restaurants, lots of cafes, lots of stuff to do in Centro. Sometimes I just go to the park and just sit there for a couple of hours and just watch people. It's fun just watching the buses pull up, people get off, people get on, and just go on about their day. So, but yeah, there's definitely lots of stuff to do. But I do appreciate the green as well. So that's another reason I wanted to be further north. Because I do like them trees and access to many more malls that are more accessible up, I guess, a little bit more up in the north, and a little bit closer to the beach, so I can hop in my car, catch an Uber, and head on down to the beach. So yeah, I mean, and here are the signs. I mean, we're getting closer and closer. It's not a very long drive, and so what are some other things? So let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people that are watching this are trying to decide on trying to find a place to live. In terms of, from your experience, for people who wanted to live in the north, is there certain areas that you would recommend? And for those who want to live in Central, because Central is still huge as well, are there any areas in Central that you might recommend more so than others?
Well, up in the north there are several neighborhoods, and although Merida is not a large city, and these are not like big neighborhoods necessarily. Each has its own thing going. Each has its own vibe, and you can really tell the difference between, say, Temozon and Tzotzil, right? Because Tzotzil is like not so Western at all. Like it feels like traditional Merida up in the north. You can still find colonial houses in that area, even though you are one step closer to Periférico, right?
Yeah.
So, say Altabrisa is very nice. It's very well designed. You have like 3 major private hospitals in the area. You have one big mall, several supermarkets. So it's really convenient, and it's like the how you call it is like one of the better neighborhoods in the city, like the crown jewel of Merida.
Okay.
Living in Altabrisa with all the conveniences and all this. Where I live in Temozon, it feels more like a suburb. There's much more room. There's much more green. There are not a lot of stores and bars and businesses open. It's just nice and quiet. Funny thing that I have noticed is that there are a lot of horseback riding schools.
Really?
Yeah. If you are into charreria, which is a national sport, you can certainly go to a school in Temozon and learn it. Or if you just want to learn how to do horseback riding, then there are schools for that. And also echinotherapy, say for kids with that need mental stimulation. That's also a big thing in Temozon. So I enjoy it very much. I lived in Mexico City for say about 4 years. So peace and quiet are just what I needed. Hit the spot. Green. I love it. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Wow. So horseback, I had no idea.
Yes.
And I keep telling people that, a lot of the activities and events that they were into at home back in the United States, a lot of those things they can also do here. And horseback riding just never really caught didn't recognize that. So what are these? I mean, they're windmills. So I see, I don't see these in much of these in the United States, or at least in the part that I live in. So are these pretty common out here in Mexico?
It's becoming more common these days. So Progreso is kind of windy, so we're harnessing that power and using that for clean energy for Merida.
I like that.
Yeah, we're getting there. Our planet needs it, so yeah, we're on the right track with that one.
So I noticed that when so in the United States, when we go to the grocery store, you fill your cart up, they put all your stuff in plastic bags and send you on out the door. So I went to the grocery store a few times myself, and not realizing they don't give you plastic bags. I had to carry all that stuff out of my hands in my backpack. This particular store didn't have an option to buy any plastic bags. So I guess you all are really taking this green stuff and being very proactive and pretty serious about it.
Yeah, we're moving forward with that. We are trying to reduce our single-use plastics. Say like the straws or like grocery bags, and yeah, we're trying to get rid of those. So when you go to, when you're having a soda at any restaurant or business, they will still give you the straws. They will be made out of recycled plastic or made out of avocado seeds, which is biodegradable. So yeah, we are looking for alternatives. We're also using, instead of like the plastic fork and knife and your plates, we're using banana leaves now.
Really?
Yeah, compressed, and it feels just like the plastic ones. Yeah. So,
You know, I've noticed that at a few places. Now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see
Small
everywhere
changes.
we go to trash cans, they have the option between, I think it says organic or inorganic.
Yes.
So there's like a dual trash can practically everywhere.
Yes.
Again, just something that you don't often see in the U.S. So they're very proactive here about that.
Yes, you will have your biodegradable, that's your organics, and your plastics. Sometimes they even go further than that, and they say like, oh, if you have glass, it goes here. If you have aluminum, it goes here. Plastics here, and they separate each the waste by materials. So yeah.
Wow.
Also, something nice to do is just separate your trash at home.
Okay.
Yes. Organics on one side, and the rest on the other.
I think I need to do that. I haven't been doing it.
It's not like other countries where you'll be fine, but it's preferred to have it that way. It makes recycling so much easier, and the planet and the trash guys will thank you for it.
Okay. So I need to separate my. So should I get a separate? How do I separate it outside? Because I just take my stuff outside and.
You can still put it in like a large black trash bag, but just use like smaller bags to keep them separated.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess what are we pulling? Are we getting pretty close? It looks familiar.
Yeah. We are entering Progreso.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, gas station on the right hand side. Yep, palm trees. Bodega. I've seen that word. What is bodega?
Bodega Urrera. Bodega is like storage, like
okay.
Like a warehouse.
A warehouse.
Warehouse is bodega.
So this is not Merida. It's not part of Merida. It's its own city. Same style colonial buildings, it looks like. Are they allowed to modify the outside of their buildings?
Yes. Yeah, there's much more liberty here for architectural modifications. Yes.
Okay.
I would say that the city is predominantly industrial, not precisely colonial. It does have some colonial buildings, like the lighthouse and Port Authority building, but it's mostly industrial.
Okay.
As you can see, it's not. But as we get closer to the beach, the vibe starts changing again. Yeah. So you'll see where we're going. Picture this. It's like a Lebanese-inspired castle in front of the beach.
Really?
With a great pool, a bar inside the pool, and some nice, how can we call it, like palapas, like a nice dining area at the beach.
Woo!
So we can get to choose if we are sitting inside or if we want to get our feet wet.
Interesting. So there's lots of options out here, man. Lots of fun things to do just in and around Merida. And this is just one spot. This is just one place we've decided to come to, is beachfront tacos for the day.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I heard the other day that they just allowed the first cruise ship back into port.
That is true.
So this is a destination where cruise ships come into.
Now it is, yes.
Now it is. Now, was that the first time or first time resuming since COVID?
Since COVID, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting. And so we passed the grocery store upon coming in. to entering in Progreso, which I think it was Soriana,
Yes.
and I think there's another Super Aki here, I believe.
Yeah, this city is fairly small, so you won't find larger stores like you do in Merida, but still you find like good grocery stores. This one is interesting in Iplito. You'll only find this in the Yucatan area, and this is like where you will find like building like construction tools, some like screwdrivers, like the drills. I don't know,
like a Home Depot or Ace Hardware.
Kind of like a Home Depot store.
Okay.
Yeah. Hardware.
Hardware. Yeah.
Oh, there's the ocean right there.
Yep. Is it expensive to live here in Progreso?
It could be, yes. So you can just come and enjoy the weekend, and it won't be expensive. But if you want to buy a property and you want to live like in the beachfront, yeah, then it's gonna be pricey.
It's a little costly. Okay.
Yeah. If you are looking for properties like in the third row, fourth row, then it starts to become more reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah. To say something, a property at the beachfront would cost somewhere north of 4 million pesos, which is how much? $200,000?
$200,000. Yeah.
About.
Which ain't bad for beachfront on the beach.
Oh no, absolutely.
In Florida, you be paying around the million up range.
Oh yeah,
easily on that. Get on probably a couple of million, probably $1 million just for the lot.
This is a restaurant that I really like to come with my dad. This is the Crabster, not the greatest name, but the food is awesome, and it has AC, so he really likes it. There are two other restaurants which are really good, if not better, but they don't have AC.
Okay.
So we are going to one that does not have AC, but it's on the beachfront, so.
Yeah, catching that breeze.
Yes, sir.
So I imagine you've been coming out here since a kid. All your life.
I've been coming here since before that dock where the cruise ship arrived was built.
Really?
My family was even involved in the building of that piece of infrastructure. So yes.
Wow. So a lot of this stuff.
No, this was
non-existent.
That is true. Yeah, I've been coming here since I can remember.
I walked this area, but I hadn't come down. I didn't realize it come this far down.
This is Almadia. This is one of the most luxurious restaurant in Progreso.
Really?
I mean, it's really nice. It's really, really nice. You get to see the ocean. It's first class service. I highly recommend it. It's really good for a date. You can't go wrong.
Wow. I had not. See, I would have missed that. I did not come this far down. I didn't go this far up.
And this is where we're going. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it's just misspelled, but it's Hawaii. Yeah, that's what the cool kids do. They put the hipster version of every name.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it. But this place is pretty. I mean, I was struggling on whether or not I wanted to live in Progreso or stay in the north. The thing that helped me decide that was Charlie's dad's school was in the north, and it didn't make sense to be driving from here, Progreso, to north side of town 6 days a week. So that ruled that out. So we're about to get out the car. We're about to hop out the car. We're about to walk up to this spot. So I'll resume once we Get out.